Hey guys, I got a comment on one of my videos today which I thought was very interesting and definitely worth following up. So it's from Salim, and he said, can I recommend an opening that you can play as black against anything? He says he just wants to learn one system. Okay, so this is my recommendation. If you want to learn one opening, and the great thing is as well, you can play this as white or as black as well. So I don't think I've recommended this before. So what we're talking about is the King's Indian setup. So let me show you kind of how that looks. So the pattern that you're looking for. So I'm on the PGN board here, right? So the pattern that you're looking for is knight out to f3. Okay. Let's say your opponent plays e4. Then you then move your knight's pawn forward. Okay. And then your bishop comes, so you fianchetto your bishop on g2. Okay. By the way, a lot of people mispronounce that word. It's an Italian word, fianchetto, and in Italian, ch makes a k sound, right? It's not fianchetto, right? So there you go. I'm just slightly obsessive about certain things, and that's just one that always bugs me. You get chess masters, grandmasters who say fianchetto. It's not. It's fianchetto. Alright. Let's carry on with the opening. Alright, so your opponent brings out a knight or whatever, and then you simply castle. Okay, so this is the basic setup. This is the King's Indian. And what's great about this is you've got this really solid set of pawns around your king. This pawn's defended twice by its buddies. This bishop is safe and defended, and it's looking at this gorgeous long diagonal. Bishops love to be on the longest diagonals they can find. Yeah, bishops love diagonals. And then the knight here is also double protecting that pawn, and it's just super solid. And then if you want to go nuts, you can do the same kind of thing on the other side. Okay, so let's say bishop comes out there. You can fianchetto the dark square bishop as well if you want, and then you can move your knight out here and have a double fianchetto setup. It's absolutely great. Now let's go back to the beginning. So let's look at it as black. Okay, so now we say we have e4 played. Now one thing you have to bear in mind is if e4 is played, so normally you would want to bring this knight out here. Okay. And you can see that the computer now says that white is better in this situation. Okay, so you shouldn't do that straight away if e4 is played. Okay, if e4 is played, you should start with the piets, which is d6. Okay, now the purpose of this is so that later on you can put your knight on here, and if this pawn has ideas of coming and kicking your knight, you can capture it. Simple as that. Okay, so let's say white goes for the center, and we know the drill. Knight out. Okay, here comes a knight. Push the knight's pawn forward. Let's say another knight comes out. Fianchetto the bishop. Bishop comes out, and you castle. And you're solid. Right? It doesn't matter what white does in this situation, what your opponent does in this situation. You can pretty much rely on this as a setup, and then we can play on from here. Okay, so if you want to practice this, here's my recommendation. Okay, so let's say you're black and you want to practice that opening. Okay, so you could start with this, and then let's say the knight comes out here. Okay, so if you're logged onto chess.com, okay, you want to go onto learn and then the PGN analysis board. Okay, I've got it saved. It's chess.com/analysis, right? I've got it saved as a bookmark. And then what you do to practice it, you do this setup here, okay? And your opponent needs to be the last one to move, all right? Now, then what you do is you go down to the bottom of the screen and you find the icon that says Finish versus Computer. It looks like a laptop. Okay, click on that. And then it's going to load that setup with a game against the computer. Now like here it's defaulted to Stockfish on level 25, rated 3200. Okay, that might not be very instructive for you, so if you wish, you can come down here and say change bot, and instead of Stockfish level 3200, you could drop it down to an intermediate level. 1100, yeah, 1200, that kind of thing. Or you could play against a bot, right? So choose a bot that's around your level. Let's say we'll choose, how about Emir, around 1000, right? So you choose Emir, and now you're playing Emir. But you've set up the first few moves, okay? So now here, in order to practice it, now I'll play knight to f6. Then Emir brings out his knight. It's like, okay. And you can see also that the engine is now giving me recommendations. So it says g6 is good, but e5 was best. So fine. He wants me to compete for the center, but I know what I'm doing. I'm going to play this, okay? So this is the Piet's defense classical variation. He's brought out the bishop to attack my knight. I'm not concerned. So it's telling you who's doing better as well. So you've got the side ribbon here. So if the ribbon becomes more white, it's favouring white. If the ribbon becomes more black, it's favouring black. So right now it's just ever so slightly in white's favour. Okay, and that shows us that we are on the right track. Okay, and then you just carry on. You just carry on. Play your game. You might even want to take some notes. Say if so. Let's say I'll play e5 now. Right, e5 is an inaccuracy. c6 is best. Okay, so I can click back in that situation, and you can then record the moves. You might have a pad or keep a file, right, where you write this stuff, and it says okay, c6 is best. So I know to play c6 in that instance. Now, if you feel like you've got a grip of that and you've made a few notes, click back on one of White's moves, like to f3 here, or even this one if you want, and then if you want, change the bot. Okay, let's choose Vin, rated 1300, and now I'm going to do the same thing. It's my move. I play my knight out. Okay, queen e2. Haven't seen that before. You see, this is how you build it up. This is how you train. Pawn stacking my knight. The reason why we played d6 is to do that. No worries. And I'm just going to carry on. Okay. And now it's actually favouring black in this situation. Okay. And I castle. And it's liking my. I'm 1.5, 1.6 in front now. So it's liking this very much. Let's kick the bishop away. Is that the right move? It's a good move, but a6 was better. Okay, slightly better. That's fine. You see? Now I bring my knight out here. Discovery on the queen. Oh, it's an inaccuracy. Knight b to d7 was best. Okay. Developing a piece. Okay, I'm learning as I go. There you go. So that is the very brief introduction to the Piet's stroke King's Indian setup. You can play it as white, you can play it as black. If you're looking for one opening that you want to get your teeth into, that's my recommendation. That's where I'd start. All right. Thank you for watching. If you try this out, let me know. Put something in the comments. Let me know what results you've managed to achieve. Right. It's much better to have one opening and know it well than to have 20 that you don't know very well. I think Bruce Lee once said, I fear a man who knows one kick and has practiced it 10,000 times than a man who knows 10,000 kicks that he's practiced once. Right? That's exactly what we're talking about. It's the same kind of thing. You get people who, collect loads and loads and loads of guitars, for example. Or you've got somebody who's got one guitar and they absolutely know it inside out and they know how to make it sing and make beautiful music. Okay? It's the exact same thing. Don't be promiscuous with your openings. This is an absolutely valid opening, right? Let's just check this out. Right now I'm going to go to Learn Explorer, and we're going to go and see how many master level games have used this. Okay, so let's say as what should we do as black? So I'm going to flip the board. Okay, so let's say e4, yeah, been played a million times. D6, the Piet's defense, okay, thousands and thousands of games, okay, and now d4, and now knight to f6 is actually the most common move played by master level players, okay, in the face of this setup as black, right? And then knight to c3 is normally played, and then we'll do G6, 25,000 games, master level games. So you can come onto chess.com, go into the Explorer, yeah, find a setup like this. Okay, you'll work this through in the Explorer, and then what's next? F4. F4 is popular. Okay, Bishop G7. Yeah, exactly. These are, you know, the grandmasters have played exactly what I just showed you. Knight to F3 it likes, and then castles. There you go. The most popular move. 6,000 games played. Okay, with this exact position. Now, if you wish, you can then click View All Games from the current position. And then it's going to load every single game, okay, going back in time. Now, the most recent one from this year, Daniel Dubov against Ian something, Nepomniachtchi something, right? And you can, if you want, click on it, right? Let's click on it, press the up arrow to go to the start of the game, press X to flip the board if you want, and then let's watch the game. You can just entertain yourself, okay? Yeah, so white has been allowed. This is actually what's known as a modern system, or hypermodern, where you allow your opponent to grab the center, which kind of breaks the classical rules. You know, you're supposed to contest the center, but you allow your opponent to get the center. Look, here comes the bishop, knight out. Okay, now d6 here is played later, okay, because he's not brought his knight out yet, so different move order, okay. This is great. I'm watching, you know, two masters. This was at the Magnus Carlsen Invitational. Okay, and now the knight comes out. So the exact position we just saw, and then you could simply click through and see how the game progressed. So you can learn to spot the ideas that the really, really good players have played. Yeah, there you go. So you can watch these to your heart's content. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of games on the database. So why did black play that? Why did white play that? And see how it all figures out. So there you go. There's an opening if you're looking for one thing to learn, if you're short of time. This is my recommendation. Okay, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe to Chess Bootcamp if you haven't subscribed already. I'll see you soon.